And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Free Agent Friday. It is here, right here on the Breakfast Burrito on YSN. It's DJ Yoakley with you, alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Thomas Pease. And Tommy, we got the special return guest here on the burrito. It is none other than the one, the only, Squeaky Bandito. He is Mr. Eric McMahon. Eric, what's cracking, Bandito?
Hola, hola.
There he is. He does not disappoint. Hey, Squeaky, I know that you've got something on your heart and on your mind this morning. You want to lead us off here for the first take?
Yeah, sure. And this is just me, by the way. Nobody else influences what the Squeaky Bandito does. But first of all, I read a spring training because spring training just opened to baseball. I think this week sometime. Pitchers and catchers reported, and it's starting to get around. I mean, I know it was a big deal because they closed it last fall or whatever. But BAMTech, the online wing of Major League Baseball, where they stream all their games, and my phone rang. Sorry.
Way to go, Squeaks.
Okay, where they stream all their games or whatever. WWE Network obviously took from it because everybody did. Baseball made a ton of money off of it. Well, Disney optioned the majority ownership of the company, and every team is going to get $50 million. Every baseball team will get $50 million this year to do with it whatever they please. Now, the teams like the Yankees, they go out and they basically trade rob the Marlins for Giancarlo Stanton. The Red Sox trying to sign JD Martinez for $125 million, and Bob Nutting's going to take his money and go to a ski resort and hang out down in Wheeling. On top of him trading the franchise's two best players, which he'll save $20 million, which, by the way, the Pirates get a stipend through revenue sharing because they're in the bottom part of payroll because they've never been above a third of the payroll the entire time Bob Nutting's owned the baseball team. So he's basically getting a revenue sharing check, and he's pocketing it, and he's going to get $50 million. So basically this year, Pirate fans, just so you know, Bob Nutting's going to get $70 million to run his crappy newspapers, to run his crappy ski resort and his crappy baseball team. He's going to profit $70 million before the season ever starts. Screw you, Bob Nutting.
That is... I think the newest, I guess, spot on the show, and I think we're going to go with the squeaky wheel because I think it makes a whole lot of sense, my friend. So Bob Nutting gets the big screw you from the Squeaky Bandito here on YSN, on the Breakfast Burrito.
Oh, my goodness.
Tommy, what's your take on that stuff?
Well, first of all, I'm going to just flat out say it's the best opening segment we've ever had on the burrito.
Hands
Eric,
down.
That was great. I mean, the information was great. I mean, hats off to you. Great job. And I agree with you 100%. I do. We talked about the Pirates yesterday. I don't think that they are going to be as bad as what a lot of people think they're going to be. I could be dead wrong. But at the same time, yeah, if you're going to have pride in owning a sports team in a major franchise like the Pittsburgh Pirates, have enough pride to where you spend some money and make the team better, especially like the Squeaky. Well, I'll call him the Squeaky Ring-Dito this morning since his phone's ringing. The Squeaky Ring-Dito said he got $70 million and he didn't put a dime back into the team. So, yeah, I totally agree with Eric. And a great opening segment.
So here's the thing, guys. I think the Buccos are waiting. Again, they're playing the waiting game, and I think a lot of it has to do with obviously nutting, but I think a lot of it has to do with baseball goes in spurts, right? So baseball goes ups and downs and roller coasters all over the place. Obviously with Houston winning it last year, remember when Tampa Bay was really hot and they were a small market team and they were able to kind of build their dynasty of a couple years there, 3 or 4 years of being good. And now, their franchise player, which, I mean, I don't live in Tampa Bay, but I can only assume their hearts are broken because their franchise player went to San Francisco as well. But let's take a look at this, kind of the long term for the Pirates. Yeah, it sucks right now, But in the grand scheme of things, are they waiting for another window? I mean, for me, I'm a Pirates fan too, but when I look at this and say, okay, I think they realize that they have some of the pieces in place, just like they did the first time that they made a run, in 13, 12 and 13, that you could really see that the tables were turning. They have some of the pieces in place. Obviously, they need a little bit more pitching in their rotation. But I think the Pirates are waiting for their next window, and I think that window isn't too far off. Would you guys disagree or agree?
Let me say one thing on this, and then I'll let Eric take the whole segment on this, because he's definitely the baseball genius. But here's the thing. You talked about like Tampa, small market team. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. They love winning in Pittsburgh. They love supreme talent in Pittsburgh. And if you put that on the field, in the rink, on the diamond, whatever, the city of Pittsburgh is going to get behind these teams. It'd be nice to have an owner come in who is willing to spend some big bucks, put a elite team on the field in Pittsburgh or on the diamond in Pittsburgh, and let the city get behind them. Because if you produce a winner, you won't have an empty seat. You'll sell out every night.
But you can say that about any team. That's just not the Pirates. That's anybody. I mean,
not really though. It's Pittsburgh. You know what I mean?
Here's
Tampa
my deal.
Bay might not sell out every night if they're good.
Here's my deal with Pittsburgh, okay? And this is a complete Yinzer thing, where last year people are, burning the castle down, saying, why is Andrew McCutchen still in town? Why is this bum still here? Why didn't we trade him a year sooner? Fast forward a year, we're mourning him his trade to San Francisco like it's some kind of funeral, like the guy saved the city, like he's the Dark Knight. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like I understand that they're successful and they'll fill the seats. But reality is this: you can't point the finger at the owner whenever the team chokes in the playoffs year after year. That's not on the owner. And I understand. I mean, you're only doing what you can do. And say what you want. Marlon Byrd was a great pickup down the stretch, and they did what they could without bargaining the franchise away, giving away a Josh Bell, giving away a Starling Marte, giving away an Austin Meadows or a Jamison Tyone. Because what happens if the same thing happens? Like I know we don't have a DeLorean here, but Eric, you might be able to chime in on this one. If we trade Tyone for a big name or a rental at the stretch, and we still don't get out of the divisional series, where are we now?
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. I understand how the Pittsburgh people want to burn the nuttings for trading McCutchen. I don't want to burn them for trading McCutchen. I understand why they traded McCutchen. I understand it completely. I thought the crime of it was they didn't trade him in 2016 to Washington. Washington was actually willing to give them people worthy of the trade, and they called it off because I don't know why, because he didn't think he could. Probably because I think Nutty wanted to suck another year out of the tickets. That's what I think, so he can make more money. But I don't have a problem with the trade so much. The problem that I have with these trades so much is that we're back to the Dave Littlefield days. You guys remember those, right?
Right.
Where they offloaded everyone for undervalued trades, where Littlefield would get people that were major league ready instead of prospects to build through the system. Now, if you go on the principle, I take it you both read Moneyball, correct?
Correct.
The Billy Bean philosophy is if you got a guy that you think is going to be worth some value and some agency, and you can't pay the guy, which I think people in Pittsburgh would win, but do you ever see the Pirates paying somebody $20 million? Because I don't. Even if they have a good owner, I don't see it. I don't see it because it is still a small market franchise. I don't ever see it. So he'll offload the people 2 years before to get the value. So by the time they'd lose him in 2 years, the people who are sticking through the system are going to replace that guy anyway.
Where do you think the owners get their most money from?
I think they get the most money from the television contract.
They get from the television contract, and for the Pirates, they just signed, if I'm not mistaken, their television contract with, it was Root Sports, but now it's the AT&T Pittsburgh, And essentially they're locked in, so they're maximizing their deal. They're getting the most money out of it. So when that contract is up again, don't be surprised if you see the Pirates start making moves and signing some players because they want to maximize their deal at the next contract signing. The same way where if you want something cool from at the store when you're a kid from your mom, you make sure you clean your room. Now, it looks clean to the naked eye, but when she goes and unfolds, uncovers your bed, and there's every piece of laundry and toy under your bed, that's basically what the Pirates are doing right now, man. They're just waiting for their opportunity to push stuff under the bed and say, hey, look at us, we're still great again. We're a winning team whenever they go to sign that TV contract. I firmly believe that because right now they can get away with it. If Nutting gets $50 million from Major League Baseball, great. He's not investing that in the team. He's taking that and he's going to the bank. The part that really grinds my gears, guys, and I don't know if you heard this yet, but Nutting has no want or has no responsibility to sell this team off. And the fans can do whatever they want, petition. The Major League Baseball Players Association can put any go to court or whatever hearings they want to do. Nutting has already come out and said that he wants to give this team to his daughters when he's done. So that establishes exactly what I thought would be the case. And he's in it for the long haul. He sees this as a money-making opportunity, and he's a businessman. He's not a baseball guy, and I don't think anybody should ever confuse the two. The problem is we have Yinzers that still want Mark Cuban to come buy this team, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We're stuck with what we have, and I hope everybody enjoyed the ride 3 years ago or however long it was when we were a wild card team all those years in a row, because I don't see it happening anytime soon. I really don't. I said yesterday we're an 80 and 82 team. That's not near enough to make the playoffs.
No, not in the Central. You're going to need to win 92 games just to get the second wild card with the Brewers and the Cubs. No, and the Cardinals in the mix. No, you need 90 wins, and I think they're going to win 74 games. I think they're going to regress because where's the pitching going to come from? You just traded your ace.
Well, we talked about that yesterday. I mean, was he really an ace?
Yes.
What constitutes an ace?
He's the best pitcher you got on your team that you can trust to throw first and shut down everybody because he can throw. And now he goes to Houston where he'll be the third or fourth best pitcher. And he's going to make a run at the Cy Young.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. What you said an ace does, he doesn't do. In my opinion.
I'm with you. I thought he was a hot mess for the last 2 or 3 years.
He's a very, very solid middle of the rotation guy.
Yeah, he's going to be a great number 3. But whenever he pouts and cries because he's not the number 1, the same way he did here, because he doesn't get the ball on opening day, have fun, Houston.
I don't think he'll pout down there. I don't think he ever truly wanted to be in Pittsburgh. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think he ever did.
I don't agree with that. I think he liked it. I think he liked it from the standpoint of when his friends were around, when AJ Burnett was around, he loved it. He thrived in it. He was the fire that got us started. I think there was a situation with he and Hurdle, and there was trust issues there. And Garrett Cole has been catered to all his life. He's always been the best. He's always been number 1, and he could not handle it when he had a little adversity that he had to fight through. When he couldn't win the 20th game, he had a great season, 19 games, and then he didn't get the ball in the playoffs to start the series. They gave it to Francisco Liriano. That chapped him, and that was it for him. That was it. He pouted for 2 stinking years about not getting the baseball in the playoffs. And guess what? It's only hurt his career. Now, he ends up in a world championship city, but I'll tell you this, as much as the Astros will try, they will not repeat what they did last year. The Yankees are pissed. They went out and they did whatever they had to do. They spent whatever money they had to spend. They basically bamboozled the Marlins, and Derek Jeter's down there the co-conspirator of the Yankee, the Empire, sending out their best players. So I mean, Houston's not going to repeat. I'm telling you, I love that Houston team. I thought it was great to see them win it and be the underdogs the same way that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But let me tell you, man, when the Yankees are pissed, it is game over. There is nobody other than the Cubs or possibly even the Brewers that's going to be able to stop that Yankee train this year. I'll tell you that.
Hey, you're also talking another team of the Brewers that also participated in Derek Jeter robbery too.
Oh yeah, I mean, Derek Jeter has no qualms about wrecking that whole franchise down in Miami.
Well, what I think he's trying to do down in Miami is I think he's trying to turn it into New York South because he's getting rid of all mascot races. He just fired the mascot. He trashed the whole team. I think he's trying to turn it. I think he's trying to turn it down there into Yankee South where you just show up for the ball game and they win. The problem is that's not going to work in Miami because we talk about the people's coming out in Pittsburgh to support you if you win or whatever. There's no bigger front runner town than Miami, man. You don't win in Miami, they don't show up. They don't care.
You want my honest opinion? And what I mean, I threw this out to my friend the other day. I think Derek Jeter's down there, and he likes where the setup is. He likes how big that ballpark is, and he just wants to turn it into Jeter's house. It's going to be a big mansion for Derek Jeter. Nobody's invited. It's RSVP only. You got to be on the list. And he only invites his team, and sometimes the visiting clubs won't even get an invite. If he doesn't want him in the house, he's not going to invite him. There's going to be a big bouncer. There's probably going to be Shaq or somebody outside that he's going to be beside the red velvet ropes. That's my take. I mean, not to get way off topic here, but man, I'll tell you what, there could be a hell of a lot worse opportunities and things happening in Pittsburgh. We are spoiled beyond belief with our sports franchises. With the Pens making a run now, looking like they're going to be well stacked and well put together for another run at the Cup. The Steelers, obviously, not the outcome we expected, but they're a playoff team every year, and they're exciting to watch for 4 months of the season, 4 months of your year. So, is there really anything you could complain about? And I know that I'm pessimistic about the entire season. But I'm optimistic about the Pirates, and I'm optimistic that, if a couple things happen here or there, they could catch some people by surprise. And we all know that the Cubs are getting older. The Brewers pieces that they put together, they're not exactly young bucks, and they're about 1 or 2 injuries away from being back where they were last year. So, I mean, it can happen. I mean, to quote the little kid from Angels in the Outfield, it can happen. The problem's going to be, can they sustain? And we talked yesterday, Marte's got to keep his nose clean. Somebody's going to have to step up, whether it's JMO or Nova in that rotation. They're pretty high on Tyone. They're really high on Nova right now for some reason. Nova's going to be the starter. He's going to be the ace, I think, this year in Hurdle's mind. Now, whether JMO is able to go in and change it, who knows? But at the end of the day, the Pirates are going to have to really, really overachieve in order to get that second wild card spot, and I just don't see it.
You went back to speaking about closing off the Derek Jeter's house.
Yeah.
I don't even think Shaq could be invited. The only people to be invited to Derek Jeter's house is Hannah Davis and his kid. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
Well, you know who might be invited, and it's a perfect transition into our I guess we're going to call it our speed round. Yeah. The cheerleader from last night, the Arizona game, he's going to be invited to a lot of parties, man. Did you guys see that? Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
The Arizona cheerleader gets tossed from the Arizona game and if you haven't seen it, make sure you turn on ESPN or go on ESPN today because it's all over. And I thought it was probably the headline. Given that all we have to watch right now is the Olympics, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But, man, I'll tell you what, the dude is down there shooting a free throw, and this guy picks up his damn megaphone and starts shouting, "Not today, Remy, not today." And then the referee stops the play and boots him out of the damn building. What? I mean, that's the – is he a cheerleader? Like, isn't that what a cheerleader is supposed to do is shout through that megaphone?
I guess the official said he kicked him out because he called him by by the first. That's the guy that was shooting the ball's first name, right?
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yep.
Wait a
Like
minute,
taunting the player.
Boy.
Wait a minute. He kicked out the cheerleader for calling out the guy's name, but yet in the ACC in 2003 to 2006, they did nothing when student sections shouted "FUJJ." Are you serious?
They didn't have megaphones, apparently.
Yeah, you got to have a megaphone.
Fired up.
No, but 20,000 people in College Park, Maryland shouted "FU Reddick."
I mean, the big story out of this is down one male cheerleader, Arizona Wildcats still able to pull out the victory last night.
You want to talk about overcoming. That's adversity.
That is adversity.
That's pretty good considering Sean Miller said last month that he thought he couldn't reach his team, that his team tuned him out. That's pretty good.
Well, they obviously didn't tune out the cheerleader. They had him tuned in on HD radio.
That was awesome.
Guys, realistically here, I mean, I know we're being facetious a little bit, but come on, are you kidding me? You toss a cheerleader for if what you're saying, it sounds right, Tommy. I mean, that's a rule in high school, but I figured in college it's a little bit different. You're taunting because you said his name. Well, why don't we just boot the loudspeaker announcer too, the PA guy, because he'll say, now at the line, number 15. Remy, whatever. You're gone. Get the hell out of here. You're out of here, buddy. See you later. Early shower for you, pal. No, this is horse crap. And you know what? That cheerleader, I would have had a Bobby Knight session. I would have went nuts, man. Can you imagine throwing that megaphone like onto the half court, like going and like booting the ball, like he takes the ball from Remy and punts it into the stands? That's a moment. That is your time to shine. And I'm sorry, you missed it, brother. You missed it.
Well, if we're talking about a Bobby Knight moment here, if he'd have got thrown out of it, Bobby Knight probably would have thrown the cheerleader for distracted the game.
Are we too soft anymore in society that we're booting cheerleaders for saying, not today, Remy? I can't even say it without laughing.
Oh, my God.
This is sports in America today. Here we are.
I'm blaming the Olympics. I blame you, Olympics committee, because everything else shuts down because you're handing out stupid gold, silver, and bronze medals for dumb sports.
Like curling, you mean?
I like curling. Don't you ever downplay curling.
Curling's sweet. I mean, if you go to Canada during a weekend, it's on TV all the time.
You know the Olympic Games are to me now? They're glorified X Games. And it's weird because the X Games has their own thing. And I think, to me, and I could be completely off, but I mean, snowboarding hasn't been around forever. I don't remember snowboarding as a little kid, in the Olympics. And I think that the ESPN was making a cash cow out of the X Games. And the Olympic Committee said, hey, we can make some money off this if we really look into it. And here we are. We got, Shaun White, winning Olympic gold for what he does. And I guess it leads us into our next thing about, are all gold medals the same? I mean, I watched curling, and I can appreciate curling, but I don't think that the dude that looks like Andy Reid should be considered an athlete by any means. And I don't consider myself an athlete for playing slow pitch softball, and I don't expect to get a gold medal either. So I don't know. For me, there has to be some capacity of athleticism behind being a world champion.
I disagree. I mean, every one of these events in the Olympics, no average guy off the street or average female off the street could go in and win the gold medal. I mean, every one of these events have some sort of specialization or special talent that it takes to win. Are they interesting? Are they fun to watch? Probably not. But each of these people have put in a tremendous amount of work, time, and effort at this craft that they're participating in the Olympics, and they deserve, I guess, just as much as the other guy. It's because we're going to talk about this in the next segment. They're not just participating; they're putting in, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of work, and if they deserve to win the gold medal, they're going to get it, and hats off to them for doing it. Do I enjoy watching all these crazy events and that I have zero interest in? No, I don't watch, but I don't want to take away from these people because they take a lot of pride in their craft and they deserve, I guess, this moment in the spotlight.
So let me ask you this. We all play cornhole here, and for those of you, it's called something different in every region of Ohio. It's bago. It's in some places, but we call it cornhole down here in Columbiana County. If the Olympic Committee decides to bring cornhole into it as an Olympic sport, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, because I know that there's some really, really good cornhole players out there. So, I mean, and they didn't get good by just picking up the bags and start throwing them into the hole. I mean, they got good because they ridiculously played cornhole probably more than they should have and became an absolute cornhole phenom. So if cornhole goes to the Olympics and somebody wins, hats off to them because they worked hard at becoming a cornhole legend.
What kind of cornhole legend do you think Squeaky Bandito is?
I'm not bad at it, but I'm not bad at it. Here's my question about it. If they put cornhole in the Olympics, you got the ultimate cornhole guy. I know it was on like ESPNU when they did ESPN 8 this year for the one day on August 8th. I know they put that on there. But how many of these people could actually play cornhole without drinking? That's my question.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's exactly one of my points is when you look at it and you say, hey, guys, curling would be 10 times better of a sport if you got that little brush in one hand and a Coors Light in the other.
If somebody had a tap keg of Molson, you're like, hey, let me get a beer. I'll go throw a stone. Okay.
Yeah, like that's what it strikes me as. Like, you should not be able to do, like, here's the impressive part. If you're doing the skeleton, like I watched the skeleton last night and I thought it was pretty sweet. But I'll tell you what, if you got a bucko slugger in your hand, and you're going down the ice, one-on-one with the luge or whatever, basically skeleton, for those of you who don't know, is a luge turned around, your belly on the sled. Can you imagine having a bucko slugger in your hand and icy light going down one of those suckers? How cool it would be if some yins are flying down on one of those. That would make it not more interesting and make it super dangerous. But then you look at, I guess it would make it more interesting. But if you looked at curling, that dude, I think he's from America, and he looks just like Andy Reid. I kid you not. If you can do curling with a bucko slugger in your hand, no problem. No problem. No questions asked. And I'll bet you nobody's even going to blink twice at you.
I thought he kind of looked like the guy for Man vs. Food. That's who I thought he looked like.
Guy Fieri?
No. Man vs. Food, like the new guy. Not Adam Richmond, the new guy they had, like the Casey, I forget his name. But
I see. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I think he looks like. But yeah. All I envision the skeleton is if you're putting drinking into that, okay, give me this shot of Jack. Let me go down because if I crash, I'm a goner.
Skeleton might be good with one of those beer helmets because they got to wear helmets anyway. It might be good to see them with the beer helmet. So,
how did we transition to Olympic drinking games?
Because everything should transition to the Olympics should transition to Olympic drinking games.
Yes, the only thing I don't want to see drinking in the Olympics is figure skating because I kind of want that to be eloquent. But other than that,
dude,
imagine figure skating.
Yeah. Captain Sensitivity over there.
It's got to be eloquent. Now I don't want to listen to Johnny Weir every day, but hey, whatever.
Can you imagine every time that you missed a jump, you had to come over and take a shot or slug a beer or shotgun a beer and then go out and go do another jump, like a triple sow cow full of Jack Daniels? Ooh, boy. That would be interesting. Like, you want to talk about ratings going through the roof. That's where it's at, man.
Wasn't it how Tonya Harding skated, by the way?
Well, I think she's still...
Yeah.
She's still... I don't think she ever was off the booze. I think she somehow was able to smuggle it into jail.
Yeah.
Where's Nancy Kerrigan? Like, that's what they... Like, if Nancy Kerrigan was the national spokesperson for the United States for the Winter Olympics, I'd watch because... You're still, like, waiting for her comeback tour. Like, she's going to come back and just whip the crap out of Tonya Harding and those two thugs.
on my
Nancy
knee.
Kerrigan's like 50 years old.
Doesn't mean she can't stun somebody or do an RKO out of nowhere.
She definitely could do that.
It'd be an NKO. Nancy Kerrigan out of nowhere. All right, we're officially off the rails. But way to go, Squeaky. Way to take us off the train tracks.
I didn't intend to.
Tommy and I have a tight ship. We run a tight ship Monday through Thursday, and we bring you on. There's squeaking, there's phones ringing, and we're talking about Nancy Kerrigan giving RKOs to Tonya Harding. This is what we've come to.
I see. I didn't go that far. That was you guys. I didn't go that far. I just mentioned like the Winter Olympics and everything that went along with it.
So you're cool with everybody getting the same gold medal, and there's no rank. It's just a gold medal because you think that they are specialized, correct?
It's one of those things to me. It is what it is. So
here's the heavy bag, man. You ready? We've had some heavy stories this week, going with open enrollment, talking about parents versus coaches. Here's the big one: participation trophies. Tommy, I know you are a lover of this topic. You could go on for days. We'll let you have the floor and lead this one off because you've had a quiet day today, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting though. I like listening to you guys talk for sure. Participation trophies are, I think they're fading. I do think it's a mentality that hopefully is fading away in this country. But
Thank God.
Thank goodness. There's a generation of participants that have, that we're seeing play now in all levels of sports. But these guys, they got, no matter what they did in their life, they received a trophy, a medal, a ribbon for everything they did. Every sports season they participated in, every event they ever did, they were just showered with participation awards. And I feel that it's made a generation of youth in this country soft and not have a winning mentality, where winning is not important because they've been told their entire life that no matter what happens, they're winners. And I'm a realist, and in life that's not true. Life's about winning and losing, and life's about learning from your losses or learning from your mistakes, because I don't care who you are, you're going to make them in life. And I feel that we've set a generation up for failure in this country because no matter what they did from the time they were 5 until 18 years old or even older, they were, everything they did was right. They were winners. They participated. They might have not won or did their best, but they got an award for it or got awarded for it. And I just think it just presents a very unrealistic view or unrealistic expectation of what lies ahead for these kids, youth, however you want to put it, for the future. So hopefully I'm wrong, and this generation of youth grow up to be adults that thrive, but I just don't see it happening.
So let's talk about participation trophies and kind of ribbons as they, I guess, appeal to sports, as they pertain to sports. What kind of is over the line? So I'm going to give you a couple examples here. You guys can tell me if it's a participation trophy or if it's something that is realistic for, your accomplishments. So first one that comes to mind is 4th place.
What do you want me to say? Should there be a 4th place?
Yep.
Where do you stop's the question,
I mean, so you're saying no 4th place. I mean,
no, absolutely not.
Where's the cutoff?
3rd.
Okay.
I say 3rd.
Squeaks?
Listen, trophies used to be only awarded to winners, okay? You won, you got a trophy. Still in today's world, they're still like party favors in a way.
Yeah.
They remind you of an experience, but they're not like a true token of achievement.
Here's the way I look at it. You win first place, you dust your trophy. You win second place, you wipe your tears. That's all. I mean, that's all what it comes down to for me is anything beyond first place. Why do you want a trophy for that? It just becomes a constant reminder that you were not good enough to at least one person. And the further you go down the line, I have a Ricky Bobby mentality. I'm sorry, if you're not first, you're last. That's how it goes. And it doesn't matter if you're second place or if you're just a hair slower than somebody in a race or just a one win short of winning the championship. Why the hell do you want a trophy? Like being second in the world is cool, but you're not first. You're not the guy. So like saying you're second place to anybody is like saying there's still somebody out there better than me. And for an athlete, it should drive you. But we went from being a spark of motivation to being an accomplishment. Like we're the second best in the world. Great. That's fantastic. You know what happens to the second place? What happens to AL runner up in baseball? What do they get?
They get nothing.
A pat on the back.
Yeah, they don't even get a banner. I mean, unless you won your division, and even divisions, cool. You win your division, you're number one. You promote that, like you're the best in your division, but you didn't win the big game, so you don't put up AL runners up unless you're the Washington Capitals, apparently, and then you could put up any banner for wiping your kid's butt. But
they just put up President's trophies. All don't get out in the second round. That's
what's your take, Squeaks, on participation trophies and the fourth place trophy?
Depends on the sport because like say for like football or whatever, should you get a fourth place trophy for finishing fourth? Hell no, you shouldn't. But you go into wrestling or something like that where fourth place in the district gets you to the state tournament and they do give you a medal for that because you did make the state tournament because only 16 people make it. Then yeah, I understand that. And they place 8 at the state tournament, so all those guys get a medal because they're considered all state whenever they do that. I mean, it's different for every sport. And you said the Ricky Bobby mentality, if you're not first, you're last. In racing, you could finish second the whole year and still win the year. It's different. It's different. Do I think it should be like Gaylor Fokker from the Fokkers where he's got like a 6th place ribbon in the egg toss? No, that's ridiculous.
I just want to know how many participation trophies you have, Squeaks. I know you got them tucked away. You don't put them on camera. You got them. I know you got them. You're a liar.
0.
You pulled that the egg toss card way too quick. I got a feeling that at a family reunion, you pulled a 4th place and you got a trophy for it.
No, I don't. I don't have any participation trophies. I never did. I wasn't like for youth sports or wherever. I wasn't allowed to play anything until middle school. If you want the honest truth, I wasn't allowed. My family just hated youth sports and everything with the participation and everything like that.
Yep.
They just hated all that. They wouldn't let me do it. I never did organize sports till I got to middle school.
Where do you think that we draw the line though for participation trophies in America? Do you think it's that do you think it's cool for a 5-year-old to get a trophy just for playing? It's like T-ball. I mean, here they don't keep score for T-ball, but that means everybody's a winner. So I'm a huge advocate for letting kids understand that there is a score in life. You got to be able to stop the other person or promote yourself or advance yourself to success. But it doesn't mean you can't get ice cream after the game. It's not a participation trophy. I mean, losers get ice cream too.
T-ballers are, predominantly 4 and 5 years old in today's structure of youth baseball. So, I mean, that's a little different. I mean, 4 and 5-year-olds, you want to just teach them the game, teach them fundamentals. You don't want to, there's winning and losing, not important at 4 and 5 years old. But once the kids, no matter what sport it is, once they understand the concept of what the sport is doing and winning, we got to teach that winning is important. And, and just like anything in life, you work hard to win, and you work hard to get good grades. You work hard to get a bonus at work.
Yep.
And you work hard to become a winner.
Let me ask you this. Here's a second participation trophy, so to speak, that I didn't realize until kind of later in life. Best in show. Do you classify that as a participation trophy?
I don't classify that as a sport. You talking about the dog show?
No, I'm talking about. I mean, it could be a science show. It could be. I mean, it could be anything. It's really best in show, because I didn't know that was like a kind of like a gimme trophy. To like, hey, we're really proud of you, but you didn't get it done. It looks like you put a lot of work into this thing, but you just couldn't get there.
Yeah, the Labradoodle that couldn't walk across the floor half the time when he was trained gets the best in show. Hey, we think you did a good job getting this Labradoodle ready to go out here and not walk in front of 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I don't know. Really?
Yep, best in show. I mean, I didn't realize. I thought it was a real award until after. I mean, full disclosure, yeah, I got a few best in shows in my day. So I was the Labradoodle that you're talking about at the science show.
It was a good movie, but
well, man, you're bringing back all kinds of memories. I mean, I feel like that's my science teacher. Oh, that's a good attempt, DJ. Thanks for participating in this with 7 people. Everybody else got a trophy and a ribbon. Just best in show. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's all different walks of life. Some people are going to put a lot of clout in whatever they get and be proud of whatever they get, and they should be, because not everybody has a whole lot, and especially this day and age, whatever you can take, whatever good news you can get, take it. I'm not a huge participation trophy guy. I'm not James Harrison level where I'm going to make the kids give it back, like he did with his kids a few years ago. But I'm not a proponent of it, and I'm not a guy that wants to see it continue in the country, and with the people we have in charge of the country right now. I don't anticipate that it will, because it's all about black and white. It's winners and losers. So if you're not a winner, you better raise your game. And if you're a loser and you're pouting about it, tough luck. Better luck next time, Chuck.
Trophy should be given out for first, second, and third participation. It should be recognized, but just a pat on the back or words of encouragement, not a trophy. So, as in sports, as well as in life, there's room for only a select few winners on the podium, and we have to start having that mentality start when raising children. That's my personal view, and I know people disagree, and that's fine. That's their right to have their own view, but that's just how I see it.
The day is coming to where we won't have trophies. We won't have first place anymore because it offends second place. It's coming. Watch it.
Yeah, there'll probably be digital trophy apps on our kids' phones. That's where your trophy case will be.
Like on the Xbox, you mean?
Yeah.
That's exactly like the Xbox. I mean, that like. Yep.
But that's going to be life soon. That'll be like, oh, look at my trophy I got. It's on my phone. Got a digital download of it here.
It's going to be rough, boys. Hang in there. We're going to be all right. So, hey, that does it for us today. Any last thoughts on the burrito?
I thought it was a good episode today.
Yeah. Tonight, if you want to buy it, I know there's a bunch of flooding down south of us, so I know Liverpool plays down a Weir tonight, but if they don't, I'm going to be watching Rough and Rowdy 2 tonight. That's that tough man stuff that Barstool Sports bought down in West Virginia or whatever. And if you ever go online, watch some of the promos for that, because it's out of this world. Their main event tonight's like Smitty versus $20 Chef, and I don't know how quite to put this. It's kind of like the South Park episode, douchebag and turd. It's pretty much what it is.
Well, we just took a hard right turn.
Yeah.
So that's like knuckled. Is that like bare knuckle combat sports, pretty much?
No, it's not bare knuckle. It's basically gloves, no helmet, 1 minute rounds. People who can't fight.
So it's just all out haymakers.
It's a bunch of hillbillies or rednecks in West Virginia, but they're holding it in Morgantown. So there's going to be a lot of people repping WVU and a lot of people repping Pitt tonight, which is why I'll be upset that I'm probably going to miss it. But
Squeaks, when can we get you in one of these fights?
Never. I'd probably get knocked out.
No way. I think you would take him down.
I'd get knocked out.
Well, at least you get a participation trophy.
No, you don't get anything for it. The only thing they get in it is the ring girls they hire, and I say ring girls like in the vein of XFL cheerleaders, and they get like a prize for being best in show, pretty much like you just said.
Well, trust me, I'll never want best in show ever again. I thought that was an accomplishment until about 2 years ago.
Well, if these ones are best in show, it's an accomplishment. Trust me.
Well, you got that going for you, buddy. Have a good night down your way. Squeaky, thank you so much for joining us. The Squeaky Bandito, everybody. It is Eric McMahon, and he will be joining us very often here on the Breakfast Burrito because he is a mainstay. And Mr. Pease, anything from you?
No. Have a good weekend, guys. Go Potters at Weirton tonight.
Go get them, boys. Congratulations for making it through another week. That is worth a participation trophy in itself. So for Mr. Pease, for the Squeaky Bandito, I am DJ Yoakley. That is a wrap on the Breakfast Burrito. We will see you on Monday. Take care, everybody. It's a great day. Make it yours.